Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming today. This is the podcast show for Sister Ihechi. But today, my guest is none other than the one I have been hoping and looking forward to see and hear from. This is Mr. John Cox. I have said it correctly, I think.
Yes.
John Cox. So he's here today with me. This gentleman is a family man. He comes from South Africa, but has been living here for a number of good years. He is into doing good, in helping people live a good and quality life. He has been doing this in the way of showing us how we can eat healthy, drink healthy, and he has been using the Kangen water to improve people's life. And I was opportuned, blessed to meet him on an event, and since then I have never let him go out of my way. So I am happy today to have you here, John, to be with me in this podcast show. Thank you for coming. And our listeners, our audience, are happy to hear from you what you have to tell us today and what you can teach us, you can inspire us, and let us live so that we can live a better quality life and change our way, to performing our highest good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Thank you.
I'm excited to be here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, John. I normally start with prayer in my podcast, and I have to pray before we continue our show that God will take the upper lead of everything we do. Is that all right?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Lord, for today. Thank you that you have blessed us. Thank you for giving us good people around our way. Thank you for blessing us with your everything that we need in our life. We beg you, oh Lord, to come and be with us, stay with us as we talk and share our thoughts and our knowledge, and that whoever will listen to us, we also receive blessing. In the name of Jesus the Lord, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, it's one of my short prayers we do every time. That is a little bit of my ritual anyway. So
Nice.
yeah, let's continue. I have a knowledge about you, and I have read a bit about you, but I want you, John, to, in your own words, to tell our listeners whom you are, what you do, and how you have been changing people's life through initiating the Kangen water in London. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'd just like to say thanks again for having me on your podcast today. It's very, very honourable to be here. As I've been introduced, my name is John Cox. I'm originally from South Africa. I moved to the UK about 20 years ago at the age of 21. I am self-employed, and I offer consultancy services in footwear technology and also factory auditing. And so over the years, due to much travels through to Asia and India, I have seen some of the conditions that some of these workers have to live in just to have a job, just to earn some money for themselves and their families. So I have been doing social compliance and health and safety audits in these factories over the years, and just seeing how much chemicals the workers are exposed to on a daily basis, which is absolutely shocking. Mm-hmm. So 2 years ago, I also started to consult for a chemical-free anti-mold solutions-based company in Taiwan, who helps factories clean up the working environment as well, to drastically reduce the black mold, the airborne black mold spores, which is being breathed in by the workers on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. These black mold spores are invisible to the naked eye, but they can be deadly to our bodies when exposed over long periods of time. So that's what I've been doing over the last 10 or so years. The last 7 months, though, I was introduced to another amazing product called Kangen water. And I have been now drinking this Kangen water for over 7 months. And it's truly amazing, special stuff with amazing properties, which our bodies can truly benefit from.
Okay. I'm so glad that you mentioned the Kangen water, because that's one of the things that made me see you in that event on that fateful day. So tell us, what is Kangen water, and how did you come to be ambassador of Kangen water?
Well, I'm constantly on the look for products or services that can improve people's health or living conditions, in working environments and in normal home life. So because I've worked, about 10 years ago, I worked in the police force as a volunteer police constable. And naturally, I think I've got this passion to serve in our community and help people, in need, or people that are less fortunate. So I was actually doing some studies on self-development and business, and this led me to reconnect with an old work colleague from about 12 years ago. And he actually introduced me to Kangen water and invited me to come watch a live demonstration, to show me the properties of this water. Mm-hmm. Well, I must say I was absolutely blown away. Mm-hmm. When I saw the properties and the live demo, and I thought to myself, I really need to get one of these machines that produces this ionized alkaline water. And it wasn't just for myself; it was, for my family as well as and possibly my friends. So, I mean, it was quite simple. All I had to do was I just had to pay a small deposit, and within 5 days, this machine arrived at my house. It was super quick, yes. And it only took me about 10 minutes to connect it to my house tap. And the machine just uses regular tap water, and basically it firstly filters the water coming into the machine from chlorine and lead and small particles. But just to make it clear that this machine does not make drinkable water, non-drinkable water drinkable. It's not just, if you have problems with your water, like in some countries where it's not safe or the quality is not that good, you need to get some pre-filters first before this water can be ionized, just so that you can make sure that the water coming into the machine is safe firstly. Okay. So just to make another thing clear, that this machine is not a water filter. Okay. It restructures the water, and it has a medical grade ISO, which is 13485 in Japan. So this means it's classed as a medical device. This is the only ionizer on the market that has this accreditation. And in Japan, believe it or not, they use these machines throughout all hospitals, and it's been endorsed by over 6,000 of the Japanese doctors as well. So, the founder and the CEO, Mr. Hoshiro, he also truly believes that, looking after our environment first will enable us to live healthy and comfortable lives. And this is the way that, in Magic also, not just holding the ISO 13485, but they also hold an ISO 14001, which is the environmental side of things. So the production controls is, complies to the environmental side, which is another big buzz at the moment in our global economy. So this technology was introduced to the domestic market back in the 1970s, and but it's still quite a very new concept, to the domestic markets. It's been, like I say, it's been used in the hospitals, for sterilizing and disinfecting out in Japan mainly, but it's very much new for the domestic market, but it is growing. It is growing very, very, very fast. Rapidly, yeah. The Magic machine produces alkaline and acidic waters through. These waters can be can be used for various purposes like drinking or cooking. It's got beauty or for cleaning even. So basically the structure of the water molecules are changed during this electrolysis process, and this creates some very special properties.
Yes. Oh, that's very, very interesting. And yeah, and I think that is one of the things we haven't yet realized about, water, because all of us, we drink water just like that, but we don't know the properties. We don't know what we are drinking. We don't know what it contains, and then we think we are, hydrating ourselves, but not really doing, so much for our body. But in that sense now, what can you tell our listeners the benefits of drinking Kangen water?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Kangen, just to start off with, Kangen water has got three main special properties. After the water passes through the machine, titanium plates. These machines have got between 7 and 8 titanium plates. So just to mention, the plates are also dipped in platinum. So these are the best grade materials. They are over 99.9% pure. And this is because these plates need to handle a high wattage of energy, which is passed through to split the water molecules. So just to go into this, the first property that the water has is antioxidation. This water is very high in actually antioxidant properties, and this is formed by the machine producing an abundance of this active hydrogen through the electrolysis process. Without getting too technical, this basically means when the H2O water molecule is highly charged with electricity, it splits to form a hydrogen atom, which is an H+, which is the acidic water, and also a hydroxide ion, which is the OH-, which is the alkaline side. So, when we're looking at our body, we have about, 37 trillion cells in our body, and these are all affected by our lifestyles. Many of our cells become unbalanced when they lose their electrons, the charge on our cells, and they turn into free radicals. So, acid and alkaline are always at war within our bodies. And, we're always constantly overloading our systems with acidic stuff like different foods and drinks. And unfortunately, it's the acids that usually win. So, when you drink fresh Kangen water and, the negative hydrogen then supplies the missing electron to these free radical cells, which means it becomes balanced again. And there's no longer an unhealthy cell. So it stops it slows down. I wouldn't say stop, but it sort of slows down the whole aging process of the body. So, how we know this is because we can actually measure this. And how we measure this is with a little machine called the ORP meter. And the ORP basically stands for the oxidation reduction potential. So this is the potential to reduce the oxidation that's happening in our body. And this machine is very clever. It's measured in millivolts, and it either gives us a positive reading or a negative reading. And the higher the negative reading means the higher antioxidation function the water has. So, when we run the water through the Kangen machines, our Kangen machines are producing anywhere from -300 up to even -800 on these meters. And, when we're comparing it to, regular tap water, soft drinks, sports drinks, or bottled water, they all have positive readings between +100 up to +400. So you can see the water that, people are drinking on a daily basis, which, we think is very healthy for us, is actually dead water. There's no active hydrogen in it. So it's not actually doing us any good. So that brings us on to the second property, which is the alkalinity. So the machine, once the water is restructured, it also puts out the alkaline water. And I guess you know that what alkaline foods are. It's like mostly our vegetables. We always have our parents telling us, eat your veg, eat your veg. Now we know why. Yeah. Also the fruits, fruits and many different nuts, they're also very alkaline. So, eating these foods, it leaves like an alkaline ash in our body. So the Kangen machine produces these 3 alkalinity settings. So the machine can produce an 8.5 pH, a 9 pH, and a 9.5. So if you think about why are we trying to become more alkaline? Well, when we are born, we're all alkaline. When we come out of our mother's womb, we're all alkaline. We're born alkaline. The fluid inside the embryonic sac is all alkaline. So as we eat food and we're going through life, we become more and more acidic. So most degenerative diseases are again caused by 2 main factors, which is acidosis and hypoxia. Basically, this means that there's, our cells are too acidic, and also our cells don't have oxygen flowing through them. And this makes a great place for diseases to start and also thrive. So healthy cells are usually alkaline, and so we need to keep a balance in our cells by drinking this water. And it's made possible, even more possible, by the 3rd property of Kangen. So I would like to do the 3rd and final property, and that is what we call microclustering. Now, microclustering, this means that the water, when it's ionized, the water molecules usually cluster. Normal tap water, let's say, is clustering between 15 and 20 water molecules in a cluster. But once the water passes through the ionization process, the water clusters in 5 to 6 molecules. So we refer to this as small water. Now, if you look at our cell membranes, they are all permeable, so it allows for water and oxygens to flow freely, in and out of our cells. But because normal water has a bigger cluster, it can't go through these channels, which we call the aquaporin. So when they've done some studies, they found that when the Kangen water clusters in 5 to 6, this water can actually flow through the aquaporin, and this delivers cellular hydration and balances the pH of the cells, to produce the energy that's needed from these cells. So the small water also allows the carbon dioxide buildups and all the waste products that are in the cells to be flushed out. So, the overall health of your body is determined by the health of your cell membranes. So you see, healthy cell membranes then create your healthy cells, and healthy cells make healthy tissues, and the tissues make a healthy body. So, each day those trillion cells are attacked, 10,000 times by damaging free radicals. And this is the process that Kangen water reduces when drunk daily, basically.
Wow.
Sorry, it sounds quite technical.
So many good things. From Kangen water. It's also very technical, but I think we are able to grasp what you are trying to teach us here. And but I haven't heard from the benefits of using this water. What can you say are the challenges of using Kangen water? And if that is the case, can it be of any profitable benefit to those who are using it? I mean, in the terms of they can make a living using Kangen water.
Yeah, you see, I mean, I would say the biggest challenge I've faced is that we live in a very skeptical world at the moment. With some places, some countries in the world are a lot more skeptical than others. But this technology basically mimics natural occurring processes that we see with waters from Lourdes in France, or even the waters from the Zamzam in But the Japanese wanted to know why these waters in certain blue zones, as they called it, were so special. So they studied the waters and they managed to produce this machine that can make these special properties in the water. And this means that each household can now have this water without having to travel to different parts, of the world to go and bottle this up and bring it back. So our challenge is that people also read and believe, what they see on the internet search engines these days. To be honest, anyone can write what they like on these sites. So I'm sure after a lot of people have heard your podcast today, they will jump straight onto a search engine and type in Kangen water. Obviously we suggest that people see a live demo where possible, and even find a distributor where they can share the water.
That's true.
Most people are really happy to share this water because, once you've seen a demo and tried the water, you'll understand how powerful this water is to get your body back to its natural homeostasis state.
Yes.
People who are serious on improving their lives need to do some deeper research to satisfy their own minds and not just believe the first entry that pops up, on these internet search engines. We have many people around the world loving Kangen, and the company that makes this product is called Ihechi, and they've been around for 45 years, so they're a rock solid foundation company from Japan, and their philosophy as well is physical health, financial health and mental health, which is like peace of mind. So if you can have all three of these areas in your life, you could be truly fulfilled, this has also been the machine also has been endorsed by the Japanese FDA, as a medical device, and everything on this machine is produced in their factory in Osaka. Nothing is outsourced. There's no parts coming in from different parts of the world. Everything is actually made and assembled in the same site. So it's very, very strictly controlled. And these machines, they're not just a purchase, lasts for 2-3 years and you throw them away like your microwaves or toasters. They last 20 plus years. So it's a one-time purchase, and it's been endorsed by the American Cancer Institute, it's have a lot of endorsements. But even better is, the business side also is that Ihechi have offices in over 23 different countries, and they're $1 billion company, selling, I don't know, probably about 14,000 machines per month worldwide. So it's a huge operation, And, now you've also asked about people making a living with Kangen, and, the answer to that is definitely yes, because Ihechi also have a super strong referral commission structure, which is actually patented. And, many people have taken this franchise opportunity and made a great living from it, being it part-time or full-time or even just as a hobby. So by sharing the water, this brand is growing at a supercharged rate, at the moment. Ihechi don't have any sign-up fees. There's no stock holding or, no annual renewals. There's many different ways to earn in this business. You could use the offices around the world because they'll all be working for you. And Ihechi also members of the DSA, the Direct Selling Association. So they work by very strict code of ethics, amongst all the distributors. And Ihechi also believes in the power of hardworking and independent people. That's why the whole marketing strategy is based on direct sales. So distributors, like we like to call distributors, HBMs, which is human-based marketing, introduce new clients to the firm and they earn commissions. So, when you find something that you love, you'll obviously recommend it to others. So it's almost like a natural process, And the word Kangen actually means return to origin. So, in the past, wholesalers and retailers would take all the big percentages from business sales profits and that. But what Ihechi does is it wants to reroute the profits back to the distribution force. So they work for it, and back to the origin. So return to origin, the money goes back to the originals. So Ihechi really believe this strategy is most effective and fair way to do business in today's economy, and it brings equal opportunity for those who want to build better life, for themselves and their families.
Oh, that's very wonderful. I love that, and I do love your talk. And furthermore, John, you come from Africa, I come from Africa. Yes. And we know the battle we face down there in African world. And you being the patron and also ambassador of Kangen Water, one of the main purposes of doing this podcast is to promote growth as well as eliminate poverty in African communities, African countries. So Kangen Water, as you said, is beneficial to us all, and also in the form of business, it can help us all. Whoever wants to make it as a business to grow and earn a living with it. In this case now, how do you go about it in order to make it efficient and also make it affordable for people, as well as you know, the intention or the purpose of doing this podcast is to build a sustainable functioning healthcare facility. Do you think using Kangen Water can be a way to achieve all this? Tell us. We want to know. Thank you.
Yes. Well, I mean, up till now, we've only discussed, the drinking water, but the Kangen machines can actually produce 5 different types of water as well in total. So the machine can obviously produce the 8 to 9.5 pH drinking water, but it can also produce a strong acidic water of 2.5 pH, which can be used, to disinfect working surfaces, kitchen utensils, daycare centers, nursing homes. People have used it in dental industries, and even in Haiti, when they had the disasters there, they used the 2.5 of there to disinfect wounds. So yeah, you can carry this in little spray bottles. You could even use it as mouthwash if you have mouth ulcers. We know a lot of people have treated their skin, if they have skin disorders like psoriasis, or they have eczema. By drinking the water, the body will then expel, start detoxifying from the inside, and then you can treat the external skin with the 2.5, and it's perfectly safe. Again, it's not a chemical, it's just water with a strong pH. So even if you have an eye infection, say for instance, you could spray the water in your eye just to keep it clean throughout the day. So the 2.5 has many different uses. So again, it's just trying to reduce the amount of chemicals, that we tend to be using in the healthcare industry as well. Another water that the Kangen machine produces on the other side is the highly alkaline, which is the 11.5 pH. Now, this is good for cleaning oil and, cutting through tough grime, because this can actually emulsify oil. So, our healthcare, some hospitals are providing, food for the patients while they're in the hospitals, but we don't actually know if this food is being cleaned properly. So we could actually be giving our patients, more chemicals in terms of like pesticides or herbicides that are on this produce. So, from a fruit and veg point of view, that everything's been sprayed with chemicals, this 11.5 can actually clean all this residue off the fruit and vegetables, because it can emulsify well. So, a lot of the time we would just maybe wash our fruit and vegetables under the taps, under tap water. But again, when we're doing this, we're soaking the fruit and veg in chlorine. So we found that the 11.5, which emulsifies the oil, is the best to clean all these herbicides, pesticides, and other chemicals that have been sprayed on the crops before we ingest this. So again, in the healthcare industry, it would be great, asset for places to use this to clean the produce. So just as a note, though, the 2.5 and 11.5, they're not for drinking. These are just purely for external uses. But the machine also produces a beauty water, which is around about a pH of 5.5, which is the same pH of your skin. So instead of using, moisturizers and all these, this can just be applied to the skin, and this is just produced by the machine. In my opinion, all people should have access to this kind of water because it can help in so many different ways. As we've mentioned, you'll be drinking this to help your cells be healthy, and you'll have the other waters to help the external factors clean and sterilize, before they're consumed. So, why use so many chemicals these days when you can revert to more natural methods of living? And in so doing, cutting down on single-use plastics. We've heard so many testimonies from people coming out of like huge debt, or people being able to support their family members as well, just by getting a machine and sharing the water. We've discussed earlier as well, the commissions earned, can make such a difference. Even if you're earning an extra like $200 or $500 or a month, this can be a huge game changer for people in Africa as well, that are probably on a minimum wage. Because a few years ago, there's in Kenya actually there was a big article in the primetime news and about Kangen water and about how it was taking the market over there, and also in Congo. We have some great leaders building teams out in Congo, in Central Africa. So there is a lot of people, in the healthcare industry that can do with this system, but there are also very high interests coming from Central Africa and South Africa as well, from the business side of this, because it is a truly global business, and it can help individuals, even countries. It can reduce the unemployment. You don't need special qualifications to be able to succeed in this energy business. Anybody, it's very simple. It's water. Everybody drinks water. And once the special properties, which we've covered, and the different waters that it can produce, you can see it can slot into any sector, and in our daily lives, and just deliver great value for our health.
Oh, yeah. We are almost there. We're almost there. Sorry, I hope I haven't given you a hard time.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Anyway, I'm enjoying it so badly. So, I'm gonna ask you a different thing, about life, and this is: what are the 3 important values that helps you in life, and that which you want to impact to people listening to you today?
Okay. Well, I would say, like I mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, I went through a bit of a I wouldn't say a spiritual, but it's just a more enlightened way of looking at life, looking at the positives of life. And I came across this this lovely saying, which is learn it, live it, and give it. And when I've looked back through my life, I've just realized that all the policing work I've done and everything I've done, I've loved to learn it, I've lived it, and then I've tried to share it and give it away. So our total bodies are made up of over 75% of water. So why not just choose the best?
Yes.
Give your body the best hydration.
Yes.
So not all waters are created equally. And on this journey, I've learned this, and I'm now living it. And thanks to your invitation to your podcast, I'm now able to give this information to others, who might need this in their lives. So, if you can make one change, let it be your water, as water is life. And I found this saying as well by this little quote by Leonardo da Vinci, and he just says that water is the driving force of all nature. And our world is made up of, our planet is made up of over 70 to 80% water as well. So water is life, water is everything. So by changing your water, you could change your life.
That's it. Yes. I want to also ask you, John, please, that, having been in this journey of transforming your life through the way you live, the style of life you have chosen to live healthy, how has this product changed your life? Can you share that with us, please? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. For me, personally, this was, when was it? It was about 12 months ago. I started getting severe lower back pain, which caused me to stop all forms of exercising. I used to do a lot of running, and I used to do these obstacle races, which is very demanding on the body. I thought, okay, well, now I'm 40, I'm in my 40s, so I guess this is how you feel at 40. But it was only after drinking Kangen for 30 days, after I got my machine, I realized that, my back pain is no longer there. I used to have to wake up and stand crouched over and wait for my back to heat up a bit before I could fully flex up. And I just realized that wasn't happening anymore. I could get out of bed and stand straight up and walk without any pain. So I could not explain why. So, because I just changed my water, nothing else. I didn't change, my diet or anything. So I did some research and found that, the dehydration can cause back pain. When the glutinous material inside of your discs, they lose water, then you're unable to basically hold your own body weight. This causes the discs to collapse and then put pressure on the nerves, which is in your spinal column. So this was basically my condition, and just by drinking the water, which then rehydrated the gelatin between my discs, this then eased the pressure off my nerves. So, even though I was drinking a lot of water at the time because I was doing all the exercising, it wasn't properly hydrating me. So, since drinking Kangen, I've returned, back to my running, my physical training, without any pains whatsoever. Despite the doctors, all the doctors' visits I've been for, the painkillers I've had to take, and the physio, I could not get over the pain. But just by changing my water, it truly changed my life. And we're all drinking the water in my family. My wife, my kids, and even my dog. We've done some tests where we put down the 2 different bowls of water for the dog as well. The pets, they can actually sense the the chemicals in the water, in the tap water that we're drinking, the chlorine. So they naturally would drink the Kangen water only. So it's very interesting to see that the huge benefits that it has for me, just from my personal experience. But on my journey with Kangen, I've heard so many different testimonies. The one thing we do make it clear that Kangen doesn't heal any illnesses. It just provides your body with the hydration it needs, where it needs it, for your body to be able to fight off, be in the best condition it can to fight off these diseases, and return your body to its homeostasis state. So.
Oh, I'm so glad today. I'm so happy and I'm so blessed to have had you in this platform and in this podcast. It is a blessing indeed to have you. I am glad that you are here today, John. One extra thing though I want to ask is if there is a bonus you want to share with us today. Is there any other thing you want to give us as a gift to our listeners? We have had a lot from you. We have merited a lot from you. Is there any other thing that comes to your mind that you want to share with us today?
Well, yeah, I mean, if anybody has found value from this podcast today, and they would like to know more, or they would like to even try to, we give away free water samples to people, to families, and that. So we more than happy to share the water for free. So you can drop, if you'd like some more information, we can send a couple of free ebooks out. We have as well. We can send that out. If you wanted to drop me an email, my email is info@kangenhealthuk.com, or you could visit my website as well, which is www.kangenhealthuk.com. Or you could get in touch. We have a real-time chat on there, so I can put you in touch, or you could give us a phone call directly. My phone number, I can give it to you as well, which is a UK mobile, and it's 0750 777 5887. So you can contact us on WhatsApp, WeChat, Line. There's many different platforms that we use for real-time chat, or drop us an email. Check out our website, and we can try and find somebody close by that can share the water. And once we're able to get you on the water for a couple of weeks, you can give us your feedback, and we take it from there.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me on your podcast.
Thank you so much. And thank you for everything you have given us today. I cannot thank you enough, to be honest. I can only thank. Yes, thank you. Yes, and you have heard it yourself, dear listeners, dear viewers. So the ball is in your court. Live your life. Choose what is best for you. The line is open. If you want to live a better life, listen to what John has taught us today. Live in your full awareness of living healthy and growing healthy by drinking a healthy water, a living water that will make your life, change your life, and bring you joy and long life, and as well as prosperity in your wealth and in your health. This is what John has lived it, has learned it, lived it, and is sharing it with us today. And I thank him so much. I bless you today, and I bless those who have listened to us. And I hope this will transform all our lives and the lives of those who are yet to come to listen to us. Thank you, John. And
thank you very much, and God bless.
Yeah, God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.